What's up, guys? Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Today we are going to talk about tips for training hard. If you watch my latest training philosophy video, you would see that I outlined a general step-by-step process on how to build an effective hypertrophy program. The fixed variable that I used was effort per set using the reps in reserve or rating of perceived exertion scale, and I gave a general window of 4 to 0 reps in reserve to accumulate as many effective reps as possible. For movements like the bench, squat, deadlift, I categorized them as heavy hitters with 4 to 2 reps in reserve. For spammable movements like pull-ups, ring push-ups, machines, stuff like that, I gave a 2 to 0 reps in reserve or even beyond guideline. And then for isolations, I basically said that you should use 0 reps in reserve or failure if you dare as a baseline, and then move on from there. If you can tolerate more, you should be pushing beyond failure. So this sounds nice in theory, but in practice, very few people can actually pull it off. And that is because training hard is, well, hard. This basically is shown mainly through the guys that use reps in reserve or RPE. I don't want to throw shade at the content creator, but you'll see this a lot with the Jeff Nippert followers that will use RPE and reps in reserve a lot, and they will use it inaccurately because they will overestimate their efforts. Even Jeff, to some regard, in the past was guilty of that. I remember when he trained with a guy that did full body every day, the guy basically told him, "You're overestimating your RPE." And I myself was guilty of that in the past as well. When I followed Alpha Destiny and first started training with rings, I was trying to implement reps in reserve. And what I back then thought was RP8, now looking in hindsight, it was probably like an RP4. I know it sounds crazy, but was the case. Now, this video is to help you learn what is actually failure and to shorten the journey you're going to have to go through to learn to push yourself more and more. And this will allow you to use RPE and reps in reserve more accurately. It's going to allow you to prioritize quality over quantity of sets. And also it's going to allow you to experiment because some people actually need a higher effort per set than other people. Some people, especially the ones that have like a sports background, are usually way more resilient with volume and intensity than people that didn't. Also, some people inherently are more resilient. So with that clarified, we can start with the tips. The first one being, you always have 2 extra reps. It is important that you are self-aware enough to realize that when you're in the middle of the set, your brain has a built-in mechanism to avoid or to minimize the chance of you taxing yourself, challenging yourself. This from a survival perspective makes sense because your body doesn't want to compromise itself with very energetically costly adaptations, and also to maintain them, that adaptation being muscle. But if you want to grow muscle, that's an obstacle you have to overcome. A good way of knowing if you're doing this is recording yourself. So you're going to put a camera, you're going to go through a set, and then you're going to look at it. What you thought was an RP8, it was probably going to look like an RP6 in the recording. And that is because when you're in the middle of the set, again, your brain is telling you, no, the weight's too heavy, this is too hard, stop the set, you already hit failure, and it's going to try to convince you to drop the weights and to not keep going because your body doesn't want you to compromise yourself to that degree. To realize that, again, you can record yourself, and I'm going to give you an experiment you can try to help you push that ceiling, self-imposed limit, self-imposed ceiling that you have on yourself, and to actually have an accurate representation of what your capabilities actually are. So what you're going to do is pick an exercise, pick a weight, and you're going to basically estimate your AMRAP with that weight. For example, for tricep pushdowns, you're going to be like, I don't know, 50 kilograms, and you're going to say, I can do 15 reps with that, right? What you're going to do is add 2 extra reps to that. So instead of 15, you're going to do 17. And before approaching the set, you want to prepare yourself mentally and be like, I'm going to get 17 no matter what, no matter how painful, how grindy, how slow it is. Even if I get like a 20-second concentric, I'm still going to keep pushing. So then you perform the set, to failure. You're going to go balls to the wall to it. And once you fail, you're going to evaluate how many reps you got. If you got more than 15, like let's say you got 16, 17, or even more, you realize that you're actually overestimating, your effort per set, and that you're actually capable of doing more. What you thought was 2 reps in reserve is actually 4 reps in reserve, and what you thought was 0 reps in reserve was 2 reps in reserve. So now you can adjust and actually perform accurately your assessment of your effort. If you got 15, well, you got it right. So you're pretty good at assessing your effort. Then, if you got less, you're underestimating the effort you do per set. Or maybe you still haven't learned to push yourself enough. It's important that you're very self-aware and very honest with yourself. So that's an experiment you can try, and this adopting this caveman unga bunga mentality allows you to overcome self-imposed barriers, and with practice, slowly you can keep pushing that ceiling, and you're going to get every time a more accurate idea of what you can actually perform. That's the first tip. The second tip is going to be lower the volume. So I'm supposed to go on a full Mike Menzer rant here, but I'm just going to be straight to the point. You can't go high volume, that being not a fixed number, it's very individual, but for you, you can go high volume for you and at the same time do a high effort per set. If you go high volume, like the reps in reserve crew like to do, like you see those studies with like 45 sets of squats being most optimal, you'll see that you have to either overcompensate with a lot of volume and a lot of frequency. For that, you're also going to be sandbagging a lot, and you're going to consume a lot of time. So your effort per set basically goes to shit. You're prioritizing quantity over quality. And for me, it makes more sense to do the opposite. Prioritize quality over quantity. And what you're going to do basically is also not going to the other side, to the other extreme, to the Mike Menzer dick riders, where they basically do one set every full moon. You want to actually have a decent amount of volume, but still a high effort per set in the range that I outlined. So if you're struggling to hit a high effort per set, it's maybe an indication that you need to lower the volume, because people are very greedy with the volume they do on sets, thinking that it's going to lead to more muscle growth. But again, quality over quantity. Reduce the amount of volume, you're going to be more time efficient, and you're going to be able to focus and to really dig into each set. I did it myself. If you remember, if you're an OG on the channel, with the Doomslayer program, I basically had 3 to 4 sets to failure or beyond, and it was an experience, I would say, because it really gave me an actual idea of what failure actually was, because I had to push each set as hard as I could. And I enjoyed that training a lot, and it definitely helped in the programs that I'm running now. Now, for the third tip, let me go down in the script, is going to implement rest pause and rep goal sets. So this pairs very well with bodyweight movements. That's why I'm mentioning it. This is a calisthenics channel. Well, a hybrid channel now, because I go to the gym, but I mainly do calisthenics. So what you're going to do is take your AMRAP, right, on a certain movement, let's say pull-ups, for example. You can do 15 pull-ups, right? And you're going to multiply it by 1.5 to 2 times. So it's going to be 18 to 24 reps in this case. 12 reps. 12 reps. I have written on the script 12 reps. I already have the calculations. So you have 12 reps, you multiply by 1.5 or 2, and you get 18 to 24 reps. That's your rep goal for the set. So what you're going, or the sets if you're going to do multiple. Then on each set, what you're going to do is try to aim for that higher number. So 18 to 24, let's say, for example, I don't know, you go for 24, right? You do the set trying to get 24, just continuous, just going at it. And of course, you're going to fail because it's twice your AMRAP. So let's say you get 12 reps, right? You do the set, you get 12 reps. You rest 5 to 10 seconds approximately, and then you try continuing the set and getting those extra reps until you reach 24. If you fail at that set, you rest 5 to 10 seconds again and do the remaining reps. If you fail again, you rest 5 to 10 and like that until you reach the number 24. Maybe you get like 12, then you get 4 reps, then you get 2 extra reps, then you get 3, then you get another 3, and that finishes the set. I don't know if that adds up to 24. I don't want to do math right now. But yeah, with that, you reach the number, and then you can finish the set. This really helps you to learn how to grind, because most often than not, when you're cutting yourself short in a set, is because you don't have the experience and you don't know how to grind the rep. And it's very important that you have that capacity, because then it will carry over to the rest of your movement. So if you get good at grinding pull-ups, it will eventually leak and lead to you being able to grind out ring push-ups, because it's more of a mental thing than anything else. So yeah, definitely start incorporating rep goal sets and rest pause sets. You can see that in the previous programs that I have made. I always incorporate some type of rep goal sets. So yeah, that's the tip number 3. Tip number 4 is going to be have a training partner. So of course, this has to be on the list. Having someone from giving you an outside perspective is going to be a more accurate view of what your effort actually was. But also, it brings the benefit of them being able to push your buttons and helping you, or pulling out that self-limiting mentality that we previously talked about, and actually allowing you to push yourself very hard. When I train with a partner, not even like a friend, just a gym guy just telling me to keep pushing, it allows me to really dig into the set and to get a degree of effort that I couldn't do on myself. Unless I implement tip number 5, which is going to be music. So this is going to sound super crazy, but for those of you that have tried it, you know it works. It's basically listening to music, pick a song that is really going to hype you up, and then try to time the music drop, right? The songs drop precisely when the reps are going to get grindy. I know it sounds kind of awkward to do, but it's very instinctual and you're probably going to get it very often. And what happens is that the music motivates you and it replaces the gym partner, the gym bro, which is going to allow you to actually grind out the set and to get that extra rep and to really push the effort. Funk is a great genre to listen to, and I highly recommend it. So those are the 5 tips for training hard. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Have you experienced something similar? And yeah, tell me how it goes when you implement this. So yeah, thanks for watching.